Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Last night when I left my studio at about 10 p.m., I left my desk in utter chaos, and that's not surprising because I had been working my little fingers to the bone on the blush journals. Now, you may know that in the beginning when I started them months ago, I put out I asked you whether you wanted it to be a start to finish kind of thing or what. And that's what most people wanted. So, but frankly, when this thing morphed into 4 journals and maybe more, that no longer really became practical to show you every single move. So, perhaps when you're around a campfire or sleeping or in your own craft room, I'm toiling away here. So, I mean, I suppose I could gently move my camera to show you the mess around me, but maybe that's not a good use of our time. So what I thought I would do today, well, okay, I was faced with a choice. I could either clean up my desk in the hopes of getting ready to do another type of video, or I could just, give you a peek behind the curtain and show you what real desks in real working studios look like. And I thought that perhaps we should just continue working on these journals. Now, these are the negative space of something that I had die cut. I guess it was probably just that shape. And because they're reasonably centered, okay, maybe this one not so much, I thought that these negative things could be used. Now, most of the time, I don't bother with the acetate window, but today I thought maybe we should. And for the sake of new people, and again, thank you if you're a new subscriber. Thank you if you're a returning subscriber. I thought that maybe we should I could just show you how I did this one by doing another one. So we know that by the time we find things in thrift stores, sometimes the packaging is in pretty sad shape. So I have just been doing a number of thrift videos and I still hadn't put away the packaging. I looked through what I had available, number one, to try to find a good size, and number two, try to find one that wasn't really gross. So all I did on this one was cut the bag around. Maybe I'll do this darker one. The third one I'll need to keep looking for. So what I did, now I didn't realize that this was two-sided paper until I turned it over. But basically what I had done was, number one, I trimmed it a bit because I think it's easier. I have a nice wide margin. Sometimes we don't have this much space around the opening, but I have a nice wide margin, so it doesn't need to be this big. And frankly, I think the chance of getting too much glue on increases the wider this becomes. So and I don't know really how much you can practically see here, but I'm on this one and on this one, I'll be using art glitter glue. I'm just laying this down on the wrong side and basically making little hash marks at the corners to indicate basically where I want my glue to stay. Now we know that even though the glue dries clear, we don't want to get too close to the edge, because when that acetate gets laid down, it will squeeze and move the glue. I think I'm actually putting more on this one than I did on the other, so I need a lighter hand here. So I'm probably about a 1/16 of an inch away, because frankly, if the glue squeezes out, then we have a whole other problem to contend with. You know, that smeary look on the good side. No, the wrong side, but it would be visible on the good side. That smeary glue effect. And even though I picked out the best of the what I had, I probably don't even need to add more here. It's still not perfect, but I don't think that's going to matter in the long run. No, I think this is the way I had it. Because, of course, if I drew the hash marks, it would be good if I didn't change the positioning. So basically, I'm just dropping this down. And I think that's kind of the advantage of making those little guide marks. And I'm going to just sort of squeeze, you know, apply some pressure so that the glue makes contact. Ugh, that's close, man. But hopefully without squeezing any glue onto the front side of the, you know, where it would be visible to the other side. And again, I didn't bother taking time to make sure that the acetate was perfectly clean, because I'm still touching it. I'm still working with it. So if I find that there's a smudge or something that needs to be cleaned up, I will do that at the time before I actually use the window. And we have success. And let's just say that this caution and these extra steps are the direct result of having done it in a way that was perhaps not as successful. Okay. So basically now, where did I put it? I have 2 of these windows that are ready to go. Again, I should have... you know, I do like to measure, because to me this one looks a little wide. Okay, so here I'm basically at just a hair over 1/2 inch. And that side is good. Top and bottom is less important to me because, you know, even some of the finest art that gets framed quite often will have a great big wide, or a heavy, or noticeably wider mat at the bottom than on the other sides. This one is definitely not even. So this is 1/2 inch. This is 5/8 of an inch. So that means 1/8 of an inch has to come off that side. Might as well do it right now, so that I don't accidentally glue it down without. And again, here I'm just eyeballing it. So that I don't accidentally glue it down and then have to deal with another problem. Okay, so we've got these ready. Now, do I have anything at my fingertips to put behind it? No, I don't. But at least now I have these and can glue them down if I come across the perfect page for them. So let's just put them, let's hang them from a sky hook, because that's all the space I have left. Okay, I'm not going to do a detailed flip through or anything, because that time will come. And I did work in this one. Whoa, and it's getting kind of bulgy. I don't know if we'll look at this today or not. I want to try to keep the video shorter than usual. Still haven't figured out what I'm doing on the cover, and maybe in this case, because of the slow stitching, maybe it won't be very much. But, you know, I'm leaving all my options open. So I guess I will show you what I have done. This was a piece of kind of nondescript scrapbooking paper. I had this new thrifted stencil, just nothing much to it. I think this was actually a cake decorating stencil. So I just used 3 different glues, inks, and did some with the Punchinello, one of my favorite things to use. This got brighter and more intense than I intended, but hey, that's not the end of the world either. This is the scrapbooking paper. If you saw that last video, you'll know that I accidentally sewed this signature inside out. I think that one needs to go into the journal making hall of bloopers. I've never heard of that before, but anyway, I like to be a pace setter, and I wanted to use this strip of tickets. However, I know from having tried that as a tuck spot in Brenda's, this journal I did for Brenda, I know that because of the perforations, those are points of weakness. So what I did was reinforce it with a bit of cardstock. So I've got that one done and attached, and of course another one ready to go if I need it. Okay, so there's really not a heck of a lot that I've done in here. So this wallpaper page needs to be covered. That's great. You saw that. So I just covered this side up because, of course, it had some writing there that I didn't particularly want. I attached this ruffle. Love this paper or fabric. Oh, and I had done these, I hope I had done these pockets on camera. So it's lace on cardstock with this little floral image and a sentiment on there. So this, the way I glued it, now it's left loading. So I just used, one of these cards that comes with a kit, added a little tab. That's kind of a light lavender or something, but there's that in that flower, so I thought it would work. And this is just a little scrap of, El Cheapo scrapbooking paper that I thought kind of worked as well. And I have to say that all through the process, it's one decision after another. What I am finding out about myself is that I think I prefer simpler. In other words, I could have put a tag in there that was all dolled up, but maybe this, to my taste, is more effective. Or maybe what I do is selectively choose where I'm going to put the really embellished, kind of over-the-top decorations. Now, way back when, probably a year or more ago, I did a video on making lace masterboards. And so, of course, because I love these colors, I did this version as well. I had done a white one, an all-white one, or white ecru type one, and then I did this. So I have all these bases that I can still, looks like I made a decision to leave all the strings. These are all ready to decorate. So far, I haven't done it, though. So, I've done one or two. Let's see, do I have one handy to show you? Or did I glue it down somewhere? So, again, what you're seeing is one woman's approach to doing this. Here's a bit of a fabric snippet, again, just a pale, pale pink. So if this was your project, you would be deciding for yourself and for your aesthetic whether or not you're going to decorate everything to the nth degree. I guess while I'm flipping through, I should also be looking to see if any of these windows work in this book. Now, I think to some degree, the cover has determined the how pink or how salmony, corally, the colors will be in any given book. Now, I'm trying to let go of the whole, oh, it's got to match. Otherwise, I've failed. So I'm deliberately forcing myself to think in broader terms. So because of those colors there, this one could probably work here, and I would be happy with that. So what I could do, okay, so perfect example of what I was just saying. I could glue this down on 3 sides, like so, side loading, or like a U, top loading, and I'd move it down on the page. I know, oh, is that the door? Let me close the door. Sorry about that. I thought I was alone. And I was. Well, except for Gertie. Gertie the bulldog, French bulldog, has been here all week. Oh, and normally we put her to sleep in her crate. Not because we don't trust her, but just, I don't know, it was habit ever since she was a little girl. Anyway, so last night I thought, well, why can't she sleep in my room? So just took one of her, what are those called? It's a little fancier and of course more expensive than a typical dog bed. It's I forgot how they brand it or how they, merchandise it, but it's deeper, plusher, kind of more cocoony like. Anyway, let me tell you, that dog had toxic gas. OMG. What a night. What a night. Anyway, back to this. So I would glue it down one way or the other. But to just reinforce what I was saying earlier, I know very well, and that's not to say that I wouldn't do it, but I know very well that there are people among you there are some of you would embellish the heck out of this frame before or after gluing it down. So that could mean adding, so if it was top loading or, well, whichever way, maybe trim around the edge if I had something that was handy and matched. Maybe a lace or a trim, something, ribbon or something on the top, maybe a little cluster of flowers, maybe some sort of a sticker or something. So again, I'm repeating myself, but I'm just saying that particularly if you're new, you will find that over time, your taste, your aesthetic, your preferences will begin to emerge. And sometimes in the beginning, when we're learning from others, we're just trying to get the lingo straight. Oh, by the way, if you're a beginner, I do have a video. Basically explaining all the jargon, the whole vocabulary that we all had to learn because the words are different. The one thing I forgot to include in that video was fussy cutting. But everything else I think is there. Anyway, you might want to look for that. Or maybe one day I'll learn how to link my own videos. So anyway, I guess play, experiment, notice what you prefer, and feel confident and right in whatever your decisions are. Because When we find somebody that we resonate with, and we find somebody whose style and presentation seems to appeal to us, we tend to emulate them. We think, oh, well, she inks, so I must ink. Or she does vintage and grungy, so I must do vintage and grungy. Oh, she mixes polka dots and stripes and houndstooth and plaid, so I must do that. When in fact, maybe in our heart of hearts, that's the last thing on earth we'd want to do. But in the process of figuring out who you are and what you like, none of that experimentation or copying is going to be wasted. Anyway, I'm going to leave this in here because I think this is going to work. Oh, I was just bringing you up to date on what I've done. So I found this clip because, of course, I have many fancy paper clips, but don't consciously use them, and I need to start using them. So this is just a placeholder. It's probably not the greatest. A placeholder to remind me to look for and use. And I also have, where are they though? A bunch of, look at this, a bunch of decorated paper clips. And sometimes, like this is just a shank button. Now this isn't the right thing here, but it can't be simpler. It's just a single bead threaded onto a paper clip. Now the bead has to be pretty tiny to make it around those curves without distorting the shape of the paper clip. This is another style. So you can see that I've used paper to cover the body of the paper clip, but the only way this works, of course, is as a dangle. It's no longer functioning as a paper clip. But, so it's got a charm, and then, of course, a jump ring to attach it to, you know, either a bulb pin or a safety pin or something. Anyway, what did I do with that with that fuchsia colored one? So again, I sorted through my stuff. Oh, I know, I was going to bed, and I thought, well, surely I can squeeze in a movie before 1 a.m. So I thought I was going to do some beading. Because, of course, I did put an eyelet here, and I do need to make a dangle. Anyway, so we'll just leave that there as a reminder. Okay. Oh, we were past there. Okay, so I found, I think it was just in a recently thrifted thing. I found a page of, oh, it was in a paper bundle I bought. A page of vellum sentiments. And of course, they're all this color. So I tore around them all, and you can see they're all kinds of shapes. And I thought, well, I'm going to use them. I also, at some point, intend to use this, which was at the top of the page. So what I did was I wanted them to be pockets because, of course, there's something nice about vellum pockets. But I thought it would also help if I sort of doubled it up and made it, well, number one, a bigger pocket or two pockets. I also actually pulled out my, where is it? Right here. This Fiskars, this one says lace. So it's got 3 options on here for these lacy corners. So I used that on this again, kind of nondescript scrapbooking paper and put it on a solid pink page. Now you can see that I lightly use my Punchinello and just my dirty brush to, you know, add some interest at the back there. This is paper thin, man. But I thought it's fine. Now, I haven't added a trim to the, I think I forgot about this one. This is cardstock and the color is perfect. Now, I don't know if you can, but I can slightly see the glue marks. I did tear these edges, but I might have to do something about that, or maybe live with it. I don't know. So, and again, paper thin. But as I've said in a recent video, when you and I are making our shopping list, we grab a piece of paper and that's what we use. We don't think, oh my goodness, I can't possibly write on this without backing it. This is pretty bright, but so what? And this was a couple of die cuts that I had prepared at some point in the past. And so, yeah, this is the anomaly here without a trim in it, but or a thing in the eyelet. So I will fix that. Now this is deliberately left open because none of my other quotes, I did have another one ready to use, I thought, but it didn't fit, so I'm leaving it as is. Will I add something there? Who knows? What more did I want to say about this? One thing, when you figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when you think that I'm using 7, actually, because there's that little guy there. Okay, so 5 here, 2 there. 7 elements on this one page, or 7 tags, so to speak. You can go through your ephemera pretty darn quickly. I did, okay, you'll remember that this was a divider between when Costco used to sell those handmade greeting cards. See some dried glue residue there. Anyway, I just covered up the word wedding, and the intention would be to just leave it in the journal as a sort of a writing board. Now this was some pink cardstock that I had obviously been playing around with some sprays way back when, forgot about. Turned that into a pocket, and again, here's a little pocket, here's a little pocket, here's a big pocket. And this was just book page that I had been playing around with gesso and stamping, and then I added part of an end paper out of a book, rounded the corners so it would go in easier, in and out easier, and that takes us to where I've gotten so far today. So again, my process for this, or what I was doing yesterday anyway, is just looking for opportunities to decorate pages, to use up some of the stuff that I've prepared. I have these oversized playing cards that have this beautiful backing on them. Is that a dirty mark or is that a crease? Hard to tell. I should try to wipe that up. Maybe I'll set that one aside for now. So, you know, I can do a variety of things with this. If I think, okay, it's time to use those cards, I can look for a pocket to stick it into. And again, with or without further embellishing, I can use it as a place to hinge it and, you know, create a little interactive element. What else? Now I have a number of papers here, and strips and so on. Maybe I should look for, again, total and utter chaos. Oh, this is beautiful. That's out of a wallpaper book, but that needs backing, so you don't need, surely to goodness, you don't need to see anybody put backing on something. I have a number of these, and they're, well, not that one. A number of these with sort of the lines. I don't know if I'm going to do something special with that or not. I just wonder where the others have gone. I have a number of fancier stickers. I still have some of these doilies. So again, sometimes when you've got a million, oh, and these that are new that I've never even used. This negative thing from having punched out butterflies, and again, because I was doing it so erratically or economically, I can't very well use it as a belly band because, let me see, is that about halfway? I might have to trim. So now I need to trim this side to sort of have it even. So I could glue this down on a page. Oh, that's still not on. Measure twice, cut once. Is that the adage? Or is that only in carpentry? Okay, so that can work. Since I have the cutter and this out, I might as well. Let's try to salvage this guy. Again, that needs a bit of something there. So you can see that even these, the tiniest bits, have a place and a function if you are tuned in. Now this is really close, so I don't know. Whoa. These things all have a potential place in your book if you, you know, think in that regard. Oh, another thing I should show you is just flattening here. I have two of them actually. I believe that this was a freebie from Antonio Makes. And what I had done was glue them onto these really lightweight paint chip things. This one should have been under there too. Now again, does that... Is this one holding on? Of course not. Oh my goodness. I guess I just used a glue stick. Well, that tells you something. I didn't scuff up the... And of course, is that the right color match here? No, but so what? I will redo these and probably sew them down. Now, I didn't really want to... I guess I could cut him off. I wanted to use these either as belly bands or something, or I guess a side tuck. So what this needs to go in the remedial pile. Okay, so what are we actually doing other than talking at this point? So I've got 6x6s and other assorted scraps. I've got doilies. I've got things that need backing. I should add that to that pile. I've got stickers. I've got strips. Here's another one of those paint chips. I've never seen anything this lightweight, to be honest. Benjamin Moore. Yikes. Oh, I also did, let's not wreck the doily. I did some die cutting yesterday. And you know, I think a person could spend the whole day die cutting. I had these cute dresses, and some strips of paper. And this was something that I was just playing around with. I don't know if that was a gel print or not. That's something that I had stamped. I did the little bows because I'm thinking I could add a bow to the waist of some dresses. Wrong side. There's some more in a darker, more raspberry color, and more dresses, and some feathers. So maybe we should take some of these out and just start using some of them. I talked about it in a recent video. I got these magnetic sheets and pouches from Temu, and was adding all my, oh, it's staticky, was moving all of my small, dies, I guess they're all pretty small, to those pouches and adding labels and alphabetizing the pouches and so on. So then I realized that I had other dies in other pouches, but of course they're a smaller size. So I think I want to order some more so that I have some uniformity. But I have to say I'm pretty pleased with how that is working. Okay, so why don't we... This is like playing with dolls. Okay, let's see what we have for contrasting bows. Forgive the chaos, people. But again, unless you probably have OCD or something, this may be how you work with everything everywhere. Now, I don't know. I managed to lose one of the pieces. There are 2 of those in the kit. So none of these dresses have sleeves. So, oh, you know what? It's probably a tiny little waistband. Teeny weeny little waistband. So I guess it's not so bad that I lost one. Now this is quite a plain dress because it was just something I had been putzing around with. So maybe we would add a bow to this one instead. Let's just quickly do that. Oh, here's another bow. That's really light too. I was just basically trying to fit those tiny little dies in wherever there was space. Now I'm probably putting more glue on here than I have a place to, or maybe I'll do it like that so there's only that little bit sticking out. Okay, so that, oh, see, and I wrecked the rest of that hanger. So I think my plan was to get rid of the hanger altogether. So depending on what the project was, I could have used that side too. Okay, throw that. Well, there it goes onto the floor. Maybe one of these light colored ones. Did I use that waistband? No, I didn't. Maybe I should put that on this dress. Oh, it's not going to be wide enough. This girl has a 30-inch waist as opposed to a 28-inch. Oh, I guess it does fit. So let's just put a little tiny bead of glue and not drop this on the floor, because heaven knows I may never see it again. Whoa. So, of course, depending on where a person uses something like these die cuts, you know, and in fact, did I do that in the other book? I think I may have. Maybe I should actually look for that and show you. I thought I added a flower to the dress. Sorry, I'm just doing this off to the side here so we don't get sidetracked. Oh, another thing that came with that Antonio's thing were these people, and I just love them. Now, of course, I could have fussy cut them. Instead, I just folded it in such a way, like these two people were dressed for the journal, and she fits. I just folded these other two under so that it would fit in the particular pocket that I was putting it in. But let me see. I thought maybe that was in my dreams. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, if you remember, I did a video based on an idea from Angela, the traveling crafter, where she sort of did these doll dresses. Anyway, this was one of the ones that I had done, so I added this ribbon rose here at the waist. I cut as much of the backing off as I could to flatten it as much as possible. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, let's add these other three bows before they get lost. And we will... Let's maybe put this on here. Now, is it going to look goofy if I put it right in the middle? No. No, it looks just fine. So I hope that you are well. It is a Monday morning as I'm doing this. Again, I had the opportunity to set the tone for my week. I did have a plan of just working on uploading digitals and listing some product because, again, near as I can tell, none of you are making a house call, knocking on my door saying, Hazel, please, do you have something that you could possibly sell us? We can't wait any longer. So apparently a person has to list some stuff to make it available for sale. Okay, we'll add that to that pile. These two are fairly... Look at how I managed to position that so there's some that design going down her dress. Is that not just so clever? How would it be to put a bow way up here on her... whoops, almost lost it. On her strap. That can work. Although, boy, oh boy, not much space to make contact with that. So, of course, once this gets glued down somewhere, these other vulnerable parts will also be glued down. Yeah, I think playing with this stuff is almost like a case of arrested development. This could be on a shoulder as well. This one has wider straps too, so. And then at least I know that I've used up all my little bows and I don't have to worry about chasing them down or having them get damaged and torn. Whoopsie. Okay, so maybe what we can do, how are we doing for time? Oh my goodness, the time just flies. Why is it when I'm talking to you guys or showing you stuff, that the time just flies by. Oh, 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 oh. Good catch, Hazel. Okay. I am going to, well, you've seen sort of what my intentions are. I will glue down that window. Perhaps I'll add something to it. Maybe not now, but later. And I will look for places to put these dresses. And I will just continue working away. And continue doing these videos to keep you in the loop. Where did I put that? I did leave that frame in there, didn't I? Did you guys see what I was doing? I thought it was closer to the front, but there it is. Now this is, well, I guess it's kind of cardstock, so it'll probably be fine. Oh, you know what I could do? I could kill two birds with one stone, and I could add a dress right there. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's just for the heck of it. I mean, you don't have to watch me glue, but maybe you should watch me. Let's just pretend it's in the right place. So that could be an option. Obviously, the polka dots don't work on polka dots. This is probably a bit too whatever. This is a little plain. Maybe that's the one, especially if I kind of ink around it. Try to find a color somewhat close to that. You know what? I don't think so. I think the floral was the best. So why am I fighting it? Let's just find which shape of dress works better. This first one I showed you, seemed a bit wide. Mind you. Or is it the greatest choice? Maybe if I put it over here, you'd see better. Now, if I put it on this side, that skirt could interfere. Let's do one of the slimmer dresses. You know, I don't really want to interfere with the access to the pocket. Maybe that's the one. Okay. I'm going to, because there's, yeah, I think that's the one. So I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch unglued at the bottom. And then by having this on the frame, well, it helps reinforce that corner, but it also helps me determine where the pocket should be placed. So in other words, oh, looks like I have it. Oh, I didn't need to do that, but it's done. I didn't need to put glue on that left shoulder there, or that left part of the dress, because it is, well, no, I guess I did. I do want it attached to the cellophane and not just floating there. Okay, so now with the dress there, it helps me not put the pocket too high or too low on the page. So anyway, that's what I'm doing next. Okay, guys, we will see you in the next one. I hope that you're finding some value in this, and I hope that you are taking some solace in the fact that figuring out your own aesthetic does not happen overnight. And I think the sooner a person accepts that, the better. Anyway, okay, thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.